What is up, people? This is your cosmic homegirl, and I am doing a special horoscope forecast for Jupiter. Dun, dun, dun. Being in the sign of Pisces 2021 and 2022. I am super motherfucking excited, okay, to do this video. I haven't done one like this in quite a while, so I'm excited to be back. And with sharing a whole wealth of information and just talking about astrology for long periods of time. That's my jam. So yeah, let's see what's going on in the next year while Jupiter is in the sign of Pisces. So Jupiter enters Pisces on May 13th of 2021. Okay, so I have this calendar here. Shout out to drstanley.com. Dr. Stanley is dope. If you guys want a website to go check out the planetary transits as far as the long-term ones and when they were and will be in signs, check out drstanley.com. She's got the hookup, okay, with that information. So Jupiter enters the sign of Pisces, May 13th of 2021. I guess it depends on your time zone. And it exits July 28th, 2021. Because Jupiter only dips into about 2 degrees of Pisces. Okay, so we see here, May 13th, Jupiter dips into Pisces. He gets up to 2 degrees and then he goes retrograde in June. And then in July is when he exits back out of Pisces, back into Aquarius, retrograde on July 28th of 2021. And then, he goes back into Pisces. It's actually December 28th here in the U.S. So December 28th of 2021, Jupiter goes back into Pisces. Okay, or it could be the 29th, depending upon your time zone. But yeah, it's the 28th in the U.S. He goes back into Pisces, and he stays there, and he hangs out throughout 2022. So he'll go into Pisces from December 2021 to May 2022, and then he goes into Aries for a little bit, and then he goes retrograde and goes back into Pisces, October through December. Okay, so we go from Pisces to Aries a few times in 2022. So that is Jupiter's transit. So what does this mean though? Like, what does this mean for everybody, for Jupiter to go into Pisces? Why should we care? Why should we give a fuck about it, right? Well, Jupiter, he's the largest planet in our solar system here where we live, okay, on planet Earth. Okay, yes, I said Earth, EARFF. All right. So on our planet here, in the solar system we live in, Jupiter is the largest planet. And in astrology, Jupiter represents joy, happiness, being jovial, having good luck, having good fortune, being generous, being gracious, having a lot of gratitude, traveling. He is like large publications. He can be a representative of like politics and stuff, expressing the deep thoughts in your mind, like your opinions about stuff. Jupiter, I always say, is like a projector screen. So he's about the big picture, So whatever's going on, whether good or bad in our world, Jupiter acts like a projector screen and puts it all out there for us to see, right? So whatever sign that Jupiter is in for the time, about a year or so, he puts the things that are associated with that sign on a big ass projector screen. Okay, like when Jupiter was in Scorpio, Jupiter in Scorpio rules, it rules sexuality, but the good and the bad about sexuality. So unfortunately, like the underside of it, like rape allegations and stuff, unfortunately. So that's when we had the Me Too movement. All of a sudden, the fall of 2017, like starting around that time, we had the Me Too movement where things were blown up all huge. Scandals. Jupiter can rule scandals coming to light and coming to life, like all huge, Jupiter, when he was in Sagittarius recently, 2018 and 2019, this is when we had those scandals come up that had to do with college education, like those celebrities that were involved in some sort of scandal or ring or something, to where they were falsifying documents in order to get their children further ahead in college. So stuff like that came to light. I think stuff about student loans, came to light around that time as well. Okay, so Sagittarius topics. When Jupiter was in Capricorn, this is when we had an election year here in the U.S. During Jupiter in Capricorn, 2019 to 2020. We had a big election year. And, so there was a lot of things about the presidential election that were even bigger than before, because in the U.S. we have a woman of color as vice president, stuff like that. Also, there were some scandals that had to do with the military and the police force and their unethical practices that came to light. Huge scandals with Jupiter and Capricorn. Jupiter in Aquarius, Jupiter, we're still working through Jupiter in Aquarius. He popped in and out. As I'm recording this, we're still just into 2021. So, Aquarius stuff has to do with the collective. It has to do with the rights of alternative groups, quote unquote, of people like LGBT people, human rights and stuff like that. Protesting is Aquarius. There were huge protests and stuff at the White House here in the U.S. During Jupiter and Aquarius. Big scandals came to light as far as that, people raiding the White House and getting on national TV wearing some goofy shit. You know what I mean? So we're still working on Jupiter and Aquarius. We still have some time left to see what he brings. But so far, that's the biggest, most noticeable things. If anybody notices anything else, of course, drop comments below and share with everybody. So now with Jupiter and Pisces, what is that going to bring to us? What is he going to blow up and bring to light for us? And maybe educate us on, because Jupiter rules education as well, college level education, reading a lot of books, like huge thick ass books, or just reading a lot about something. Not a lot of people read actual physical paper books anymore, but if you have audio books, listening to ones that are super long, if you read books that you download on an app like Kindle or something, the really long ones with a lot of information, stuff that does have to do with politics and what's going on in the world around you. So Jupiter, it does rule the world, you know what I mean? Like exploring the world, not just looking at yourself as a citizen of a small neighborhood or even just your city or whatever. It's repping the world, like seeing yourself as a citizen of the world. Jupiter rules travel, long travel, world travel, rules stuff like passports, documentation for you to travel abroad, travel internationally, stuff like that. Jupiter is expansiveness, so whatever he touches, he blows up huge, like I said, So Pisces people, especially if you're a Pisces rising or Pisces sun, he can blow you up in a lot of ways, okay? He can make you gain a lot of weight. When Jupiter is in your sign, you guys, especially your sun or your rising sign, you can gain a lot of weight. Or if he's in your 6th house, I'll talk more about the signs at the end and tell you guys what Jupiter and Pisces means for each sign and what he's going to be bringing to you. So Jupiter does bring good luck and blessings. He brings opportunity as well. So a lot of times when people have Jupiter transit a certain, their own sign or a certain part of their charts, they have a lot of grand opportunities come to them in that area of life that chart rules. That house rules in your chart. So, opportunity to advance and elevate and excel, opportunity to be seen and heard. And usually people when Jupiter transits their own sign, they want to travel a lot. So, it's getting out of your comfort zone. It's exploring the world physically by actually getting out and traveling, or through the mind by reading more and having more of an open mind and learning through experiences of others, different people, different cultures. That's what he represents. Now, Pisces, what does Pisces rule? Pisces rules water, the oceans mainly is Pisces. It's a water sign. And so it rules literal water, oceans and stuff. It rules, animals. And it rules spirituality. Pisces rules music. It rules art. Anything that falls under art. That's dancing, painting, anything to do with music, especially, is Pisces. Whether you play an instrument, whether you are a DJ or a producer, all that stuff is ruled by Pisces. And any type of art, makeup is ruled by Pisces. It's ruled by Venus as well. Venus is the physical product of makeup that you buy. But what you do with your makeup, the application of it, is actually very Pisces. Because especially right now, while Neptune is in the sign of Pisces, as I'm recording this, in the 2000s, the 2020s, there's more of a popularity of the whole masking of your true self and it becoming another person through makeup. Okay, like if you look at the makeup trends of when Neptune first went into Pisces, we had like the contour, the highlight, and like the real heavy makeup, the under eye, what's it called? The under eye concealer, baking, like real heavy ass makeup. Lots of heavy makeup trends. And that's attributed to Neptune and Pisces. So makeup, transformational makeup, even costume makeup is Pisces. Acting, being an actor or actress is Pisces ruled as well. So movies, music, television, photography, videography, anything that captures moments through photos, videos, picture, visualization, visual techniques, all of that is Pisces, especially if you do any heavy editing, like filters, putting filters on your pictures and stuff like that. That's ruled by Pisces. That started while Neptune entered Pisces, which was in like 2011, 2012. Yeah, 2012, Neptune and Pisces. So filters for your photos came out, and being able to have apps to photo. Photoshop's been around for forever, but actually having easy access to applications, not just Photoshop, but other ones that are now available, to alter your photos and be more creative with them, and alter your own looks to look like something completely different and morph into someone or something else. That's all ruled by Pisces, right? What else does Pisces rule? Homelessness, the less fortunate, are ruled by Pisces. People that just kind of float through life. They don't really have too much of a solid place, solid ground. Pisces is the last zodiac sign, so it's most disconnected with the practical, everyday earth stuff like that, So, it can rule homelessness, people who are homeless, people who are less fortunate, and they are codependent upon other people in order to just do life and live. Pisces it also rules drugs and alcohol. Okay, drugs and alcohol, whether it's recreational use for escapism, whether it is for medicinal purposes, pharmaceuticals and stuff like that, all ruled by Pisces. Pisces rules chemicals that are used for different things. It rules anything that's invasive and breaks down the barriers between humans and anything else, right? So any chemical that you can put on, how humans, like, we have skin, right? And our skin protects our organs and our insides. So chemicals that can break down your skin and get into your skin and into your system, Pisces rules that. Any type of invasive anything, viruses are ruled by Pisces, bacteria ruled by Pisces. Okay. As I mentioned, spirituality is ruled by Pisces. Pisces is the sign that rules the spirit realm. So the veil between us and spirits is very thin when it comes to Pisces energy being in the air. Okay. What else does Pisces rule? So I mentioned animals. Yeah. Water, oceans, and all of that stuff. Okay, so that's just the basics of what the sign of Pisces rules. It also rules having unconditional love and a lot of empathy, stuff like that. Being very compassionate is Pisces energy. Okay, it rules like fantasy. Fantasy like fairies and mermaids, and if you believe in shit like that, like gnomes and unicorns, all of that is very Pisces. Okay, so that's what Pisces rules. Jupiter is going to be in Pisces. We discussed the dates of it. Okay, so we have a couple months of it starting in May through July 2021. Then he's back in December until May of 2022. And then he is back in 2022 from October to December. Okay. All right. So that's Jupiter in Pisces. So when were the last times that Jupiter was in Pisces? Jupiter takes 12 years to orbit around and come back around to the same sign again. So last time Jupiter was in Pisces was it's like roughly 12 years, right? So 2010 to 2011 was the last time we had Jupiter in Pisces. If you guys can remember back then, like what was going on at that time in your world? Where is Pisces in your charts? What house is it in? And what does that house rule? And what was going on in your life? Where did you have good luck, expansion, better fortune, things turning in your favor? The Wheel of Fortune card in tarot, hey, it's Jupiter energy. But yeah, or maybe even issues that you have can be blown up more huge for you to be able to see and address and fix when it comes to Jupiter. So wherever Pisces is at, what did you have going on back then? And this was like 10 11 years ago. What was going on, what was popping. The time before that, the Jupiter was in Pisces. It stayed in its sign just straight up through February of 98 to February of 99. So if you are listening and you're old enough to remember back then and had actual like really important things going on, what do you remember? What was going on during that time? And if you were born, let's say you were born, let's go back a little bit. I know there may be people listening that are older than this, but yeah. So if you were born in, let's say, 1962 to 1963, that's with Jupiter in Pisces. If you were born 74, 75, Jupiter in Pisces. If you were born in 1980, where's it at? 86 to 87, Jupiter in Pisces. And then again, like I said, 1998 to 99, and then 2010 and 2011. So if you were born any of those years, during the exact date ranges that Jupiter was in Pisces, not the whole year, but yeah, if you're watching on the screen and you're, what I'm saying, you see the dates, it's between those dates. If you were born with Jupiter in Pisces, basically you're going through your Jupiter return. Jupiter returns happen once every roughly about 12 years or so. And during that time, Jupiter comes back around to meet your Jupiter. So you really feel like celebrating life much more. You have much more gratitude. You have much more of a connection to spirituality. You you pray more. You may discover different forms of spirituality. It's all about it's having faith and believing in more and greater and bigger. And so when you have a Jupiter return, that's more of your attitude towards life. But some people can take it a little too far. They can get a little too preachy, you know what I'm saying? Like, they could be those people that are like motivational speakers who smile with their dimples and they're always traveling and telling you how life is so easy and it's so easy for me. It could be easy for you too. All you got to do is this. Those people are usually Sagittarians, ninth housers, or have a heavy Jupiter placement, by the way. But when you have your Jupiter return, you turn into one of those people. Or if you have Jupiter transiting through one of your signs, your sun, moon, or rising, you could become more of a motivational speaker. But, just try not to irritate people and annoy people by like your if I could do it, you could do it too. It's so fucking easy type of attitude because yeah, it's you have that mindset, that Jupiterian mindset, which is super dope. It's like you run on faith and you don't really care as much about practical world worries. They don't really worry you. So you're just running. Sometimes people who are Jupiterian in nature, either by birth or by transit, you may see them smiling and traveling and living their best life. But really, their bank accounts could be all fucked up. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, their life isn't as great, like, practical world-wise. They don't really have much to anchor them down. They could be straight up bumming it and flying by the seat of their pants for all you know. But none of that really phases them or bothers them because they have such a jovial spirit and attitude about stuff that you wouldn't know what was going on behind the scenes. So if you are having a significant Jupiter transit, then that can be your life for the next year or so. One thing I will say from experience and observation of Jupiter transits is they can be helpful to make you have more faith about things and not have such an attitude of lack if you're more prone to that. Say, for example, if like you have a heavy earth sign energy in your chart, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, especially Virgo can have an attitude of lack or, you know, withholding and withdrawal and, oh my God, I can't do this. I can't spend too much money. I can't go outside of my little box because, you know, then this can happen. This can happen. This can happen. Virgo energy worries a lot like that. And they get trapped in a never-ending cycle of doubt and lack mentality. And they don't usually get too far. You know what I'm saying? But Jupiter rules the sign of Sagittarius. It also co-rules Pisces too. So technically, while he's in Pisces, he's in one of his home signs. But I can see Jupiter in Sagittarius more fitting. You know what I'm saying? The more modern day rulership being more fitting in Sag. Because Sagittarius, it squares Pisces on the zodiac wheel, meaning it's like they have a lot of similarities, but they have like these extreme differences too. Well, it squares Virgo. You know what I'm saying? So Virgo is lack mentality and Sagittarius is woohoo, there's never ending and there's plenty type of an mentality and attitude. So if you're more prone to the being on the lack side and only seeing what's in front of you in the quote unquote real world and in the practical world, when you have a significant Jupiter transit, you can see life beyond that. And it helps you out, you know, to get outside the box, to travel if you don't really travel much, to want to just like live life instead of always just working and being at home and doing the same shit every single day, the same routine. Jupiter transits help you to step outside of that and believe like you are a citizen of this whole freaking planet. Not just the planet, but the galaxy, the universe. There's so much more to you, yourself, and so much more to everyone else and to the world. And it's for you to explore, you know? So, that's Jupiter in Pisces in a nutshell, okay? But what is it going to bring to us? You know, what are the possibilities of Jupiter in Pisces as far as what will be highlighted in the news and, you know, on social media, what you may see around you, stuff like that. Okay, so I mentioned that Pisces, it rules oceans, you know, the water of the ocean. It rules, you know, the ocean and water. Okay, so we may see some news come about within the next year, 2021 and 2022, that has to do with the ocean. Maybe people might get more humanitarian because, you know, we have Saturn in Aquarius right now while Jupiter is in Pisces. So a lot of humanitarianism things are coming to light as well and being highlighted in our world. So maybe there might be some stuff about ocean cleanup. You might see a lot more headlines about ocean animals dying and, you know, needing help and going extinct and stuff like that. We could have some more ocean discoveries of new species of animals that live, you know, beneath our oceans, or maybe they can discover some remnants, like physical remnants of some shit that went sinking in the ocean, like lost ships or lost, I don't know, ancient artifacts and stuff found beneath the ocean. There could possibly be like a spill of something in the ocean, you know, something that spills that needs to be cleaned up, that becomes a headline, stuff like that. We could possibly have some floods, leaks, spills, you know, that are major in different areas. Excuse me, there could be some major floods somewhere in the world, or several of them in the world that happen, because this is a huge overflow of water, and that's what Pisces rules. Okay. And then Jupiter is like whoosh, like a, you know, an expansion, like huge, right? So we may see more headlines revolving around floods, ocean spills, or spills in other large bodies of water, things like that. Ocean of the ocean, flood protection, flood insurance, flood recovery, things like that. Yeah, maybe some major leaks or spills that really affect some large company or building or area are possible. Now, you know, we have the COVID thing pop in, the Rona, you know what I'm saying, as I'm recording this in 2021. It's calming down a little bit. Hopefully it stays that way, but we'll see. We'll talk a little bit more about that too with Jupiter and Pisces. But, you know, so there's a lot of restrictions on travel. Jupiter rules travel and traveling long distances. Pisces rules the ocean. So I think there's going to be more restrictions and bans lifted on ocean travel. And that includes cruises. You know, cruises, cruise ships, they may have a boost in popularity during this next year. Maybe people will just, or maybe they'll just, you know, people will just start traveling more by cruises. There could be some headlines, excuse me, some headlines involving cruise ships and stuff like that. Let me see something real quick. Let's see, 2010, 2011. Okay, never mind. I was going to see, Cancer also rules water. Okay, that's a little different. Yeah, because I was remembering back in sometime in the early 2010s to where there was some sort of cruise ship issue. And one of my coworkers, one of my managers at the time, was like on a cruise ship, and she was like stuck out in the ocean. You know, they were all just floating out there for a while. And she said that it got really bad, like the plumbing was bad, and that there was like, you know, toilet water and shit just like coming down the walls of the cruise ship. It was very unsanitary. It was terrible. I want to say that might have been when Jupiter was in Cancer, which also rules water and, you know, stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, Jupiter and Pisces, we could see something either good or bad go on with cruise ships, with travel by ship, by water, travel by boat, stuff like that. See an increase in sales and popularity and tours, you know. We could possibly see, unfortunately, some scandals or headlines involving the Navy, or something to do with being attacked, like ships being attacked via the water and stuff like that in different areas. Also, you know, aquariums with ocean life. Hold up, I thought I had like a blown up photo of whatever. So aquariums, right? Aquariums and ocean life, we could possibly see some sort of scandal, or, you know, like what are they called? Like not water parks, but like the water theme parks, like of ocean animals and stuff, and aquariums. Yeah, there could be some sort of headlines that have to do with those, good or bad. You know, maybe some decide to shut down and free all the animals, like Free Willy. Free Willy might make a comeback as a popular movie, since I think it'll probably be turning around 30 years old. Oh my God. Probably like around 30 years old. I'll have to look up, when was let's see. Free Willy. Come on, whatever. Let's just see. Free Willy. When did Free Willy come out? 1993. Okay, so 2022. Okay, so almost 20 years old. But Free Willy could be making a comeback, or any type of movies that are similar to Free Willy. While Jupiter is in Pisces, this is just little, possible predictions that I'm making here. But yeah, stuff to do with aquariums, sea life, they could become popular, have headlines, something like that. Okay, now also, like I said, Jupiter involves invasive, right? Viruses and stuff like that. So as far as humans, hopefully there won't be another breakout of the Rona, but Jupiter in Pisces, like I said, excuse me, Jupiter blows things up and spreads them around, and Pisces can rule bacteria, viruses and stuff. So hopefully there's not another round of breakouts while Jupiter's in Pisces. I can't see that happening in 2021 because everybody, is getting vaccinated now, and they're doing like a lot of stuff to calm everything down, but they are going to start opening things up more in 2021 as well, and then in 2022. So hopefully that doesn't like backfire or anything like that, or maybe like a new strain, a mutated strain of the Rona or some shit, but that is a possibility. I'm just going to keep it real while Jupiter's in Pisces. Now, invasive viruses and all that can also apply to computer viruses. Pisces energy can be very deceptive, unfortunately. It sees no boundaries between you and whatever is wanted, right? So if people want your information, they want to steal your information. Pisces rules not seeing the boundaries between yourself and your information, like a person who wants to be deceptive and your information, your stuff, So that's why it rules also viruses in computers and devices and stuff too. So there could be some scandal that comes out about a breach of information, especially because Saturn's in Aquarius. Aquarius rules technology, rules the internet. All right. So Jupiter and Pisces can be like, oh snap, there's a major headline that comes to the forefront that has to do with hackers hacking some huge database or servers or whatever that really affects us worldwide or nationwide in big countries and stuff like that. So yeah, protect your stuff, man. Protect your information, protect your devices. I'm gonna keep talking about this over the next few years, but because we're going to have Pluto enter Aquarius in a couple years, and we have Saturn in Aquarius, then we're going to have Pluto in Aquarius, and then Saturn in Pisces. We have this Pisces Aquarius thing going on for the next few years. And I've been really feeling like there's something to where a lot of people's information that they have stored in clouds online could possibly be destroyed. So we really want to start backing things up physically. And it's crazy because it's like, how do we do that though? Because they've already been getting rid of, they don't sell laptops anymore. At least, I buy MacBooks usually, and they don't have the disk drive anymore. There are USB ports, they're still making at least external hard drives and, the little flash drives and stuff right now in 2021. They're still making stuff like that. But who knows? They might get rid of USBs and anything physical that can hold data and information and make everything only on clouds and uploaded to like servers and stuff. We want to be careful and not completely trust that. That's what I'm going to say. Okay, with all this, Pisces and Aquarius energies and shit, like, we want to be careful that we don't lose everything. We can lose photos. Pisces itself, it rules photos and videos. You want to be able to save your memories. Back in the day, we had VCRs and like tapes, that are physical. You can destroy those, but it's not as easy. Like, they don't just float away, it's a physical object. We had, and still some people do have, like, physical photos that get printed out. You want to back up all of your stuff like that, your memories, your videos, your even if it's on flash drive now, people don't really do like the videotape. do flash drive, any type of physical way that you can back up your stuff. And yeah, print out those photos, preserve them, save them, because there can be something that happens in the mid 2020s to where a lot of shit is destroyed, and you don't want like all your memories of you and maybe your family, your kids, your loved ones, whatever, to just be gone because they were floating out there in the internet land, and then there's some kind of destruction or a breach of information or virus or something that destroyed a lot. That's just a word of advice, just looking ahead as an astrologer. So yeah, Jupiter and Pisces may have some small scandal or issue or something to do with viruses with your devices that come up. And it can be, yes, we still have Pluto in Capricorn that rules corporations. There's still a lot of things to do with corporations that are being destroyed and rebuilt. So with Jupiter in Pisces, we could see like a big, something to do with businesses and credit card numbers and information being leaked out, and what is it called? Oh my God, Mercury is like in Gemini right now as I'm recording this, so forgive me for being lost with my thoughts. But you know what I'm saying? A breach of information, a leak of information. Compromise. Yeah, that's what it is. Compromised credit card information and stuff like that. You know what? Actually, let me look back again at the Jupiter. So Jupiter in Pisces. Okay, 2010, 2011. You know what? Okay, when the last time Jupiter was in Pisces, that actually did happen from what I remember. I was working for American Express during Jupiter in Pisces the last time. It was actually like September or October 2010, and then into 2011. I worked at American Express, and it's a major credit card corporation for those who don't know, right? And yeah, there was a lot of like, my information got messed up, and so they had to send out new cards to everyone and stuff like that. Before that, I worked for like in 2010. No, it was more like 2009. Yeah, 2009 to 2010. Past January, I worked at Macy's and Bloomingdale's in their credit department, working for their credit cards, over the phone. And yeah, there was some shit that was going on at that time too, to where people had to be sent out new cards. And then when Jupiter was in Pisces later on, like I said, I worked for American Express. Same thing. It was like huge. It was like people constantly had to be sent new cards, because this energy, it made an aspect to Pluto in Capricorn. I can't see, I don't have any charts up to see the exact times of the, the degrees and everything, but I know that, Pluto in Capricorn, once again, it rules large corporations. And then Pisces is that information being compromised, So there could be something like that comes up again, quite possibly, okay, during this next year or so. So, just keep that in mind, you guys. Just back up all your stuff, protect your information, your payment information and stuff like that. All right. So as I mentioned earlier, Pisces rules drugs, right? Where is my drugs photo? I thought I had my life together, but I guess not. But anyway, Pisces rules drugs, okay? Whether it's recreational, medicinal, pharmaceutical, whatever. So, first of all, we could have a lot of headlines, unfortunately, involving drugs, like drug overdoses and stuff like that. Let's see, Jupiter and Pisces. Who has that in their charts? Nah, that was okay. Never mind. Anyway, but Jupiter and Pisces there be big headlines that are involving drugs and drug overdoses. Okay, like people can tend to overdo things with Jupiter, and whatever sign it's in, it can overdo things that sign rules. So if you do any type of drugs, if you take medication or whatever, be very, very cautious while Jupiter's in Pisces. Don't overdo things. Don't overestimate stuff or underestimate things and then overdo things because of that. Like, oh, if I just take 2 more because, I need to take an edge off of the pain, I'm sure I'll be fine. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, just be careful. But we could see headlines of people, especially artists, Pisces rules artists, the artists of the world. People who are, like I said, they're not as in touch with the practical world, but they are so out of touch with it that they create this fucking phenomenal art. But unfortunately, hand in hand with art goes drugs and alcohol. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully none of our great artists, with whatever they do, whether they're musicians or actors or whatever, hopefully we don't lose any more of them to overdoses, because even the ones that, like Mac Miller and then what's her name, Demi Lovato, they both had aspects to their Jupiter. They had a significant Jupiter transits when they OD'd. Luckily Demi survived. I think they had like the sun transiting their Jupiter or something. Jupiter was in the mix, which meant they were partying. They were doing drugs, partying, and they just kind of overdid things. Okay. So I saw it in both their charts. If you guys want to check it out on my YouTube channel, I did videos on both of their ODs, and Jupiter was in the mix. So be very careful whether you do any type of drugs for fun, or if you do have to take medicine, like medications for anything. Don't overdo things, okay? So we may see some news involving drugs, prescription drugs, alcohol, stuff like that. I did see a headline the day that Jupiter went into Pisces, as a matter of fact. I saw a headline that said that like California is, or at least part of California, is going to start offering to-go alcoholic beverages. They're going to start permitting that. As most of you know, if you go out clubbing and shit like that, they don't let you take drinks outside of the club. You gotta drink, or restaurants. You can't take alcoholic drinks outside of the facilities. It's illegal. But I saw a headline that said that they're going to start allowing some businesses to serve to-go alcoholic drinks. And that's really to save them from going under while we have this pandemic still popping, because they lost a lot of money while everybody wasn't allowed to just like gather in these places anymore like they used to under fucking Saturn and Aquarius' stingy ass, Saturn being stingy and saying no to Aquarius things, which is gathering in places to be social in large groups. So now, since we all have to be like solo or with only a few people, they're allowing to-go alcoholic drinks. Isn't that crazy? It's like the day that Jupiter went to Pisces. I posted it on my Instagram stories. So some of you guys may have seen it. All right. But now we are also seeing, because of Uranus and Taurus, Uranus also rules, things that are popular and trending and revolutionary developments and things like that. And in Taurus rules marijuana, period. It does. Okay. Look at 420. That's on the day that the sun moves into Taurus. Hello. Like, astrology is motherfucking real. Okay. So anyway, now due to Uranus and Taurus, he's been there since 2018, off and on, we've seen more increases in the legalization of marijuana. We've seen a lot more dispensaries pop up. We have seen more strains of marijuana being created, especially by artists and actors, musicians, people who are struggling because they can't do their other art. Like actors, because of the pandemic, it's difficult to gather and do movies anymore. Musicians, a lot of them got paid off of doing concerts and stuff. They haven't been able to do that for a whole year and some change. So they're losing money, So they're having to, Taurus is the sign of DIY, You know what I'm saying? And like make it, find a way to make your money, create a way to make your money is Taurus. So, and Taurus rules marijuana. So Uranus and Taurus has seen an increase in strains of marijuana created by different artists and different people. Like, for example, you guys remember the show Family Matters in the 90s? Urkel. Yeah. What's his name? Jaleel White. He hated the whole fucking Urkel thing being attached to his identity for years and years and years because it caused him to be typecasted and really like hurt him as far as his career outside of that show. And everybody forever remembers him as Urkel, and he hated that shit, right? But now he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna capitalize off of Urkel's ass, and he created a strain of weed called Purple Urkel. Can you believe that shit? And then other rappers like Exhibit and who else? Bone Thugs and Harmony, they're really known for songs about smoking weed, like anthems to weed and stuff. So it's only appropriate they created their own strain. Who else? I'm trying to think. I think Snoop and I don't know, like everybody's creating their own strains of weed, okay? And that's going to continue to be expanded upon and grow throughout the next couple of years with Jupiter and Pisces. We're going to see more dispensaries pop up too because Pisces rules drugs and escapism. When people get high, you know what I'm saying? What do? They escape reality, and that's Pisces energy. It's vibing, So, speaking of artists, things to do with music, Jupiter and Pisces we may see some headlines or some things that have to do with music in schools, like because Jupiter rules teaching. So maybe there could be some more different music schools popping up, or like elementary schools asking for donations to save their music programs. We could see more of that. Or them developing new music programs, more music programs, expressing the importance of children taking music classes, just really trying to blow up the whole music thing. We can see something to do with that. We can see the difference in music trends and stuff with the outer planets. It's crazy. Like, I'm gonna be doing some more videos and stuff on like that very thing, like the music trends and popularity with the outer planetary transits. But Jupiter and Pisces, we may see more songs that are about drugs. I mean, it's already been that way since Neptune entered Pisces, like in the early 2010s. Everything was about drugs, popping mollies and fucking what else? Like, getting lit and turned off of different drugs and alcohol, of course, Neptune and Pisces increased that. And people complain, oh, well, now all the rappers, that's all they talk about is lean and Molly and Xanax and all that shit. Well, that's attributed to Neptune and Pisces. I mean, we can't get up there and fucking move the planets around, ourselves and, oh, we're not digging this Neptune and Pisces shit. Let's move it on into Aries or some other sign. Like, we can't do that. So this is just the times, you know what I mean? So Jupiter and Pisces, especially when it joins Neptune next year, and I'm going to go through some dates, you guys, of some significant transits through that Jupiter and Pisces is making, which I should have done in the beginning. But hey, Mercury is in shadow. Fuck it. You're still going to get the info. All right. So anyway, but yeah, when Jupiter and Neptune meet next year in the sign of Pisces in 2022, that's when we can really see some stuff, to do with music and but we could see a lot more new music come out. There's always new music coming out, but there could just be more of an abundance of things to do with music that we see in the headlines because Jupiter rules abundance. Okay. We can just hear, a lot more drug and alcohol influences in the music for like a whole year, more than usual. Okay. It's like as if we could include more than what's going on. Like, yeah, but it's possible though. It's possible. So yeah, teaching, music school, music classes, people can develop more of an interest in attending stuff like that for a little while, making their own music. There could be some different applications that come out for your devices that have to do with music that could be more popular, like ones where you can make beats or you can, I don't know, do something with music. We might see that stuff come up. Okay, streaming services. So, Pisces, it rules watching movies and escaping through fantasy, and it rules visual art and stuff, right? So yeah, Jupiter and Pisces, we may see some headlines come up that has to do with streaming services. We can have an increase in the number of streaming services available for watching stuff, but also there could be like a new music one that comes out too. The main one we have is Spotify. We have Spotify, Pandora. Don't really hear too much about Pandora anymore, to be honest, except if it's older people like boomers and stuff, boomers and beyond. They may still be about their Pandora, but younger generations, we're about our Spotify, So, and also there's Apple Music. YouTube has a music channel, music app and stuff like that. So there could be like a new music streaming service that comes out. There can be one that comes out that's better, that is for TV and movie streaming. Maybe we might see a merger like of two different platforms come together that has to do with streaming. So that could be with either video, music, TV, or whatever. There could be some headlines that come out that are negative too about any of those, about streaming. Maybe there could be something that comes up that has to do with restrictions with streaming, restrictions with video, restrictions with YouTube. And, that's already been going on ever since Saturn hit Aquarius. There's been even more restrictions with YouTube and, like the rules of monetization and stuff like that. So people have started migrating over to like Discord and Twitch and probably a whole bunch of other ones that I personally haven't heard of yet. But yeah, like, we astrologers started predicting that shit like before. You know what I mean? Like Saturn and Aquarius, you do the math. Saturn is restriction, Aquarius is internet and receiving data and information through invisible waves. You know what I'm saying? Which is either radio or internet. Nowadays, it's mostly the internet. So there's more restrictions being put on stuff. Now, Jupiter in Pisces, it may increase that. Jupiter in Aquarius for part of the time, over the next year. Yeah, you can see more of that too. We've already seen it with Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius in 2021. We've already seen that. So that can continue into 2022. And then with Pisces in the mix, like I said, it rules creating videos and movies and escaping through watching that stuff too. So yeah, streaming services, we may see some headlines that are major that come up with changes or merging of two large companies or platforms, some new ones that come out, lots of different stuff that can be shown with that. Streaming of music too, like I said, there's a new one that could come out that people aren't really using. People are using as much as, like Spotify and stuff like that, or Apple Music or iTunes. Maybe there's a better one that's created that everybody starts going to, and it's like, oh, everybody's talking about it. Because maybe it could be like more free with like maybe better pricing, or more free with people being able to put their content out, Okay, so also, what else? So Pisces, it also rules spirituality. Okay, this is a big thing. Pisces rules spirituality, so connection to the spirit world. That means angels and the angelic realm, any type of connection to God or source or spirit or the universe, whatever it is that you believe in, whatever deities you believe in. If you however you connect to the other side and have faith, like Jupiter itself is about having faith, and then Pisces is about spirituality, So having faith in the unknown, having faith that there's more beyond. So yes, there will be, for this short period of time, this next year, more popularity with spirituality and stuff. As a matter of fact, check this shit out. So I went to Forever 21 recently, right? Jupiter just entered Pisces as I'm recording this. And I like to buy jewelry at Forever 21. Some people may say, oh, that's cheap or whatever. I don't give a fuck. Look, I'm an earth sign, okay? Like, I'm earth and water. We don't really care, right? As long as it's cute. So, anyway, I saw some jewelry that was like, like the fake gold and the fake silver and shit like that. That was the evil eye. The evil eye. And I saw, there's more crosses and stuff like that too, but they always have those. But the evil eye, though, and the hamsa, is that what it's called? The hand, they had those, more of them. And I'm like, see, stuff like this is going to be more popularized. Nowadays, we are entering the age of Aquarius, which is a whole other video, right? I actually did one for Nadia Shah that is no longer available, unfortunately. But yeah, like I had a huge talk about the age of Aquarius. But yes, we are still entering the age of Aquarius, especially now with planets in Aquarius that are major, Saturn and Jupiter and eventually Pluto, right? Aquarian age is about, spirituality and stuff too, right? Pisces is about that as well. So with Jupiter and Pisces, yeah, we're going to see an increase in popularity in all the spiritual stuff, tarot, astrology, numerology, and runes, and angel readings and oracle readings and all of that stuff. So we're going to see more popularity increases with that while Jupiter's in Pisces. I've noticed lately that people are talking about witch talk. As of right now, you guys, I still can't get down with the whole TikTok thing. I don't hop on trends personally, like right away when they're trending. It takes me a while. At first, I'm like, this is fucking stupid. I don't really see the point. And then after it dies down in popularity, then I'm like, oh, okay, I guess this is kind of cool. I guess that's my Uranian energy. You know what I'm saying? I have Uranus retrograde in the first house. I'm like, I ain't jumping on no trends. You know what I'm saying? Like, if something is dope and I think it's authentically dope to me, then I'll do it or I'll participate. But if it's just because it's a trend, I'm not jumping on. That's stupid. So anyway, I'm not really down with the TikTok thing at this moment in time. But I've heard that there's a lot of, like, they call witch talk, where there's a lot of, girls and guys that are on there and they're, like, blowing up witchcraft and spirituality and stuff like that. They do tarot readings. Everything is quick on TikTok, though. It's for the no attention span, short attention span motherfuckers. Like, for real. No offense, but it is, okay? So they have them on there trending, showing little things like spell work and stuff. But it's not like on like YouTube and Instagram live and stuff to where you can make long videos that really are detailed and explain what it is that you're doing and why and the meaning and all that. No, TikTok is just like in and out, like 2.5 seconds and there it is, So that's popular. And I actually went on TikTok and I did a search of the hashtag like witch talk and stuff. Yo, there's so many, like there's so much. And half of it that I saw is bullshit, to be honest with you. But that's also what's going to happen when we have trends that are shown through the outer planets, especially like Uranus or Jupiter, Neptune. There's a lot of bullshit that's going to be floating around. So that's one thing that it's like I'm excited as a spiritual person, and I was like I don't like labels, you guys, but whatever. I'm an astrologer. I also read tarot and what I'm saying, numerology and all that shit. Like I am a spiritualist. I guess you can label me as that. So it's like I'm kind of excited because more people are catching on. Like, for example, like maybe 10 years ago, right? If you were like when I used to watch YouTube and I would follow certain YouTubers, I would be able to read their energy and read what's in their chart just by watching their personality like every week or every day or whatever. And I'm like, I wish I could do videos on their charts and, or hit them up and ask them, hey, do you know your rising sign? But I did actually used to do that, like in the mid 2010s. Motherfuckers didn't know what a rising sign was, and a lot of people, if you ask them about their astrological stats, they're like, "What? I don't believe in that shit." Nowadays, your favorite influencers, your favorite artists, your favorite actors, actresses, they all know their big three, at least their rising sign, their moon sign, and their sun sign. So that's because we are in general ushering in the age of Aquarius once again, but Jupiter in Pisces is going to further popularize and blow up the whole spirituality thing. So, expect to see more trends and all of that, but expect also to see more of your faves that are not even like spiritualists talking about this stuff, mentioning it in their interviews or whatever. Like when they write posts on social media, they might talk about, the angel numbers and their astrological stats and their chart and stuff like that. I think the Aquarius planets are increasing that too. But yeah, Jupiter and Pisces is definitely going to help. But yeah, more of an increase in that. Or we could see some scandals come out that are involving spiritualists. Jupiter exposes. You are exposed. I'm going to expose you. That is Jupiter. So Jupiter is going to expose some scandals involving some spiritualists as well, unfortunately. I'd hate to see that, but hey, it is what it is. Just like how we had the Me Too movement, you know what I'm saying? Like there could be spiritualists that are exposed, unfortunately. Okay, so an increase in popularity in spirituality, most deaf. You may see that. Now, as I mentioned before, Pisces rules homelessness and the less fortunate people that are like, they're addicts, they are poor, they are like, they just can't do life, they're floating and they're codependent and they always need help and they need people's empathy and all this stuff. That's ruled by Pisces, right? So we could possibly see some sort of headlines that come up about homelessness, because of the pandemic in a lot of different places in the world, depending upon how badly they were affected. We have seen an increase in homelessness, people getting evicted, stuff like that, And with Jupiter and Pisces, there could be like some sort of reform that happens. I've already seen some stuff start popping up at the tail end of Jupiter in Aquarius. Like, I don't remember what city it was or city or country or whatever, but there was an article or a post or something about there was an area where they created like this little area for homeless people to be able to bathe and wash up, and there's even a little store there. It's like people that voluntarily built this stuff and manage a store to where homeless people can go get supplies and toiletries and stuff like that. We'll see more of that pop up because Aquarius is a humanitarian sign and Pisces is definitely humanitarian. They're not just humanitarian, they're all about all living things, So we may see with Jupiter and Pisces like some sort of reform, something to do with homelessness and helping decrease it and helping out the less fortunate. I saw a headline the day that Jupiter went to Pisces as well, the day of or the day after, to where it said Jaden Smith, he's creating a restaurant that feeds the homeless for free. So I'm telling you, like, Jaden and his sister Willow, they have heavy Pisces and Aquarius energies in their chart. It may not be their sun signs. I don't even remember what their sun signs are. I think Jaden's a Cancer sun. I don't know what the hell else is in their charts. I haven't even looked in a hot minute. But they probably have like, Neptune and Uranus or 11th and 12th house stuff because of how like out there they are, and how they're humanitarians and stuff. I'm pretty positive. I will bet fucking millions of dollars that we will find those energies prominent in their charts. However, yes, so Jaden Smith is opening up a restaurant that feeds the homeless. Okay, and Jupiter rules generosity, and that includes generosity with food and like, oh, there's plenty for everyone. That's a Jupiter motto right there, a Jupiter mantra, if you will. So we're gonna see more of that, more headlines like that coming up. Okay, so healthcare. Pisces rules healthcare, the healthcare industry. It's ruled by, I would say, Virgo and also Pisces as far as the signs, but also the asteroid Chiron is involved with health as well. So yeah, but Pisces rules hospitals and asylums and stuff like that. So we will see some headlines involving healthcare, the healthcare system. There could be a scandal or two that comes out involving healthcare, some scams with healthcare, or something like that. Something to do with healthcare, hospitals. Maybe because Jupiter expands and increases, maybe there could be an increase in budgets for hospitals, or building more healthcare facilities and hospitals, especially because of the pandemic. A lot of places around the world ran out of space in order to be able to house people, like in the hospital, like to be able to care for them and stuff, right? Ran out of machines, ran out of supplies and stuff. So yeah, Jupiter and Pisces may see, some sort of assistance with that issue, with improving healthcare. Maybe we can see protests for people protesting to have free healthcare in their countries. The U.S. damn sure doesn't have no free motherfucking healthcare. Like, we have, in some areas, we have, what is it called? Like, we have government like government provided healthcare and stuff like that. The programs are going to be called something different in every state. But it's not free though. Like, it's not completely free. You still have to pay what is it called? What are they called? Copays. You still have to pay copays. You still have to pay deductibles. So with Jupiter and Pisces, we may see people like protest, or try to come up with some sort of solution to having high deductibles and copays, and maybe making healthcare free in the future. And I'm speaking more from a U.S. perspective, but if you're in a different country and you guys need a healthcare reform or help or something, you could see Jupiter and Pisces possibly assist with that too. Okay. So yeah, but some sort of scandal involving healthcare and hospitals can come up. Animals and animal rights. Okay, so there's definitely, like I said, Pisces rules animals. Okay, all animals, all different kinds of animals. I think more old school astrology says large animals are Pisces and small animals is Virgo. I guess I could see that because Virgo energy likes to have small pets around, especially cats. Okay, cats, hamsters, bunnies. Virgos, especially cats though. Like, Virgos and cats are a fucking thing. Like, seriously, any Virgo, it's either they're allergic to cats, or they hate them, or they love cats. But they'll roast the cats all day, like talk shit to them, like that fucking cat, and doing this and that. But they have a thing with cats, small pets, or they have a small dog or something. But in general, Pisces is just living things, having empathy for living beings. That includes some Pisces people. They're like, oh, instead of hurting a fly, I'll catch it and let it go outside. Or even like a fucking cockroach or a nasty ass bug. Like, oh, catch it and let it go outside. And spiders. And I'm like, yo, just smash the motherfucker, man. Like, But yeah, so, and I'm a Pisces moon, but there's still other things in my chart that make me say, hell to the nah, just kill that bitch. It's invasive to my personal space. Like, get it the fuck out of here. But anyway, Pisces in general, it rules animals, like all animals, having a love of animals. So we may see some things come out about animal rights, some headlines to do with animal rights and stuff. And especially because veganism, vegetarianism, it's all being pushed even more with Uranus in Taurus, Neptune in Pisces, and now we're having planets in Aquarius. Those are all influences on the increase in popularity with veganism and vegetarianism. Anything that you can label yourself that has to do with not eating animals or not wearing animals on you through your clothing, or using products that have animal this, that, or the other. Okay, So Jupiter in Pisces will help to boost that even more, because Uranus and Taurus rules nature as well. It's associated with nature. It's associated with what we eat, associated with commerce, producing products. Okay. And yeah, food, right? So, and Uranus is alternative. So Uranus and Taurus is alternative food, alternative diets, alternative ways of eating, creating more meat alternatives. So in recipes that are meatless, so that you save animals. That's Uranus and Taurus, okay? And then Neptune and Pisces is still, love all creatures, love all living creatures, kumbaya, and all that. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's helping as well. And then now we have Saturn in Aquarius, and that's making people want to put restrictions upon what the masses are doing, and being very like headstrong about alternative ways of doing stuff and enforcing alternative ways. And alternative, unfortunately, in this modern day, alternative is not eating meat. So Jupiter in Pisces is going to increase the more empathy part of it, and push people more towards veganism and vegetarianism, pretty much. Okay. And yeah, animal rights, there may be some headlines, unfortunately, that come out about animal abuse, stuff like that. I hate, like, that hurts my heart as a Pisces moon, anything to do with animals being hurt and stuff. Like, even though I'm not a vegan or vegetarian as of the time I'm recording this, but I know I'm headed in that direction eventually. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it just hurts my heart to think about it. But yeah, there could be some headlines that you see that has to do with animal abuse and just bringing more things about animals to our attention. Okay. And also, speaking of rights, the LGBTQ plus this, that, or the other, they keep adding on more letters and symbols and shit. But, they are considered quote unquote alternative lifestyle, alternative groups of people. And they are also ruled by Uranus. They're also ruled by Aquarius. We're getting more into the age of Aquarius. So they are gaining more rights, gaining more of everything. You know what I'm saying? And so, with the humanitarianism of Jupiter and Aquarius, and then Saturn and Aquarius enforcing us, once again, to be down with alternative and to have to learn about alternative, right? So with Jupiter and Saturn in Pisces, we're being more forced and pushed into learning more terminologies that have to do with this group of people. So people are having to learn like pronouns and what are some of the other words? I can't even think right now, and I've been talking for a hot minute, so like I'm kind of running out of steam to be honest with you. But yeah, like the terminologies that have to do with these groups, we're all having to learn, okay? Especially the pronoun thing. That's increasing in popularity. You'll see even people's Instagram profiles. They put their pronouns. It's she or her, or he, them, this, that. You know what I mean? Like, I have heard from a friend of mine that lives in a major city in Miami, that in restaurants, because Miami is such a poppin' city for tourism and stuff like that, so people from all over come through. And also for plastic surgery, Miami is popular, so that can include people getting transgender surgeries too. That there's a restaurant that they go to, and like, they have to know people's pronouns, or they ask your pronouns or something like that. I think it was her that told me about that. I don't know, I heard that recently, but anyway, that is increasing, right? So when we have Jupiter in Pisces, Pisces is empathy towards living beings. And so it's going to be more like, okay, kumbaya, let's all get along and love each other. It doesn't matter what we are, like our physical bodies don't matter. It's our soul and our spirit that matters. So we should just all love each other. And with that in the mix of this formula, of the other planetary transits right now in this modern time, I think Jupiter in Pisces is just going to bring more love to these groups of people and unite people, because a rainbow is actually associated with Pisces, in my opinion, because Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. And, you know, a lot of different forms of astrology say that Pisces is a mixture of all of the zodiac signs. And a rainbow is a mixture of all of the colors, right? All the colors of the rainbow is all people, all, you know what I mean? Inclusiveness. So I think that there's going to be just some more headlines about, you know, have empathy for these people and stuff like that come out during the next year. Saturn in Aquarius paired with Jupiter in Pisces, you know what I'm saying? And then in the next couple years, we're going to have Saturn in Pisces and Pluto in Aquarius. So right now is kind of preparing us for, it's like we're dipping our toe and our feet in a little bit more to this whole realm of acceptance of this particular group. But you know, it's going to be all groups, all races, all everything. Like pretty soon when Pluto in Aquarius comes, you guys trust and believe, it's going to be enforced even more for us to just not give a fuck like what we look like, what our outer shell looks like. We're just going to have to love and respect each other. And you know, there's going to be even more alternative like groups, labels, you know, for everybody that are just going to have to be accepted. And the old school, like the Capricorn, Pluto and Capricorn, you know, is happening right now. And a destruction of the old is happening right now. And then once Pluto hits Aquarius, though, like, you know what I'm saying? What's going to be even more in power, which is Pluto, is Aquariusness, which is, you know, we're all one, you know what I'm saying? And then Pisces and Aquarius energy together, that's what it equates to. So we're getting a taste of that with Jupiter and Pisces paired with Saturn and Aquarius. Okay. So we're going to see more headlines that have to do with that too. All right. So that is it for part one of this. In part two, I'm going to go through the transits, like, you know, some important dates of Jupiter and Pisces, and then also through the houses and the signs, what Jupiter and Pisces is doing for each sign, you know, what house it's transiting through and what it could possibly bring to you guys. Now, keep in mind that I do have the yearly horoscopes available right now for 2021, and I do talk about Jupiter and Pisces in that. And then pretty soon I will have 2022 horoscopes available. By the end of 2021, you know, I will have those available to purchase as well. And I will go in on Jupiter and Pisces in those too. Probably a little bit more than I did in the previous year because he's really going to be in full effect in 2022. Okay, so if you want to know more in detail what he's doing for you based on your sign, definitely make sure you order one of those. But yeah, I'm going to touch on it though. I'm going to touch on it here in part two.